If you're standing in a moment of transition and wondering, now what? This episode is for you. Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast, a podcast helping women in career and life transitions achieve clarity on their next steps so they can transform uncertainty into an energizing next chapter. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and the founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. If you're wondering what's next in your career or life, you are in the right place. Through solo and guest episodes, you'll gain practical tips, tools, and inspiration to help you uncover blocks, gain confidence, and be, do, and have what you want. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, my friend, and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. And welcome to September. This weekend marks Labor Day in North America, and as I reflect on this particular weekend, I realize it's probably one of the most emotional times of the year for many. Perhaps your last child is leaving for college, and your emotions range from sadness at the loss of your baby to excitement for their future and the adventures that lie ahead. One of my very best friends is going through this same thing right now, and she just dropped her daughter off at university and is feeling all these emotions. I know she feels sad because her baby has left her childhood home, and it's an entirely new stage of life for her. I remember so clearly when we dropped off our older son, Sahil, for example, at college in the States. That was especially hard, not only because he was leaving the house, but the whole country. I cried the entire way home on our ride back to Toronto, and if I'm being honest, I'm not going to lie. But when I reflect on all the amazing experiences he's had since then, really all that he has learned and achieved, I see that that point in time, though, although it was a huge transition, was entirely worth it. Then came my youngest son, Sachin. He didn't quite move so far away, but the emotions were just the same. After we dropped him off, and yes, there was another car ride of tears, we came to an empty house, and my husband and I looked at each other and asked ourselves, now what? And that's the question, my friend. When we go through these major transitions, I want you to acknowledge how you feel. Your feelings are real and raw and shouldn't be ignored. But instead of staying stuck in sadness or regret or even anger at times, stop and ask yourself, now what? Not in a negative way, but in a way that brings excitement about the possibilities for you. When we flip that switch and ask that important question, we immediately feel a mix of excitement and, yes, maybe fear, but also anticipation for what we actually can do. This may also be a time when, after a wonderful summer, we've had an amazing summer with your friends and family, and fall approaches, and we think, now what? I remember when I was a kid, I used to get so excited about brand new notebooks and pens and pencils. Yeah, when we were still writing in notebooks, I guess. Everything felt so fresh and new, and I was excited to see my friends, to make new ones, and to learn. And yes, I was a bit of a geek. Later in my career, actually, September also felt like a fresh start. It was a chance to begin a new project or hit a milestone or simply get back into the routine of life. But when that feeling of excitement started turning into dread or boredom or regret, that's when I had to start paying attention. And that's what I want to share with you today. If you are in a stage of transition and the next steps feel exciting, then continue on and cherish that. But if deep down you feel dread in the pit of your stomach, or if you're not looking forward to this new month or a new chapter, then you need to ask yourself, why? Why are you settling for something that doesn't feel good? I know many of you will say, well, I have to, Kavita, it pays the bills. And yes, I understand that. But is what you're doing right now making you miserable? Do you really believe that you can't do anything else? That you can't get out of the situation you're in and find something that aligns with who you really are? I don't believe that. I know with 100% certainty that this is not the case. You are not stuck. You have options. You can make the same money or even more. You can be fulfilled and you can be happy and you can look forward to waking up every morning excited for what lies ahead. Do you believe that? If not, it's my job to help you see why. We go through life and we settle into routines. We go to school, we get jobs, we raise kids, we care for our parents or spouses or friends. And somewhere along the way, we lose ourselves. I can't tell you how many women have come to me saying, Kavita, I've forgotten who I really am, and I just want to find her again. This is the work, my friend, and this is what I want to guide you towards finding yourself again. So let me tell you a little story. Many of you know that I transitioned my career about 7 years ago after 25 years in the corporate pharmaceutical industry. It hasn't always been easy, but it has been so rewarding since then. And now, really a new sense of ease and flow. I'm attracting the right people and circumstances into my life. But now I'm in another transition. I just turned 59, and next year is a big milestone. And both my boys are getting married, one in 2026 and the other in 2027. That means a whole new family, new responsibilities, and exciting adventures ahead. But the difference now is I know that these transitions are normal. I've learned that if we are going to make the most of them, we need to recognize them for what they are and ask ourselves the important questions. If we're not happy, why not? And are we going to do something about it? Because it's really in the acknowledgement and in the discovery of what we truly want that the magic happens. There's one definition of transition that has always stuck with me from Linda Rossetti, who's an expert in transitions and who I've trained with. And she says this. She says that a transition is a shift in our thinking about our self concept, and it signals an invitation for transformational growth that can have a lasting positive effect in our lives. I'm going to repeat that. A transition is a shift in our thinking about our self concept, and it signals an invitation for transformational growth that can have a lasting positive effect on our lives. I really love that. It's a shift in how we think about ourselves, and it's an invitation for growth. So if you're feeling like something isn't quite right, or you've had an external disruption like a layoff, an empty nest, or a divorce, those are all triggers. And those triggers signal that you're about to enter a transition. And that's normal. I know these disruptions, they may feel very scary, but they can also unlock unlimited possibilities. They can bring you closer to your truth. But how do we get there? We have to ask ourselves hard questions. We have to uncover our greatest strengths, our hidden passions. We have to start living our values and not letting fear stop us from stepping into our reason for being or our ikigai. I talk a lot about that in this podcast, and that is really the key to uncovering our next steps. So here's what I want you to remember. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until September or until your child leaves or until you've been laid off or until you hit snooze on your alarm for the 100th time, like I did. You don't have to wait for transformative growth. You can start now. Too often, we also think that the solution is to change our situation, whether that's switching jobs or, let's say, moving cities, buying something new, changing our hairstyles so that we can feel better. But those are quick fixes. They shift the scenery, but they don't really address what's underneath. What is the underlying issue? Real transitions are deeper. They ask, when we're in those real transitions, we ask ourselves, who am I? What do I want? And what's next? As Linda has described in her book, she also talks about something which is, it's a really great metaphor. And she talks about that change is like walking a trail around the mountain. The scenery shifts, but you don't gain altitude if you're just going around the trail, around the mountain. But transition, on the other hand, is choosing the vertical trail up the mountain. It's harder, but you climb to a higher level. And from there, the view is entirely different. So I want to ask you now, are you ready to climb? Because transitions we face, especially as women, are real and they are hard. And sometimes they're scary, but they're also invitations for possibility, for growth, and for transformation. So everything that you need is already within you. I've said that so many times, and I truly believe it. I'm living proof. I'm 59 and I'm not done yet. If I can do it, so can you. And so if this message resonates with you, and if you're nodding along and thinking, yes, this is me, then let's talk. Book a call with me. It's not an obligation. It's just a safe space to ask the questions you may have been afraid to ask and to explore what's next for you. The link to book the call is in the show notes. And I really welcome all of your energy, all of your thoughts, and I'm here for you to listen. So happy September, my friend. Be excited for what's ahead. And if you're not, then ask yourself, why not? You have so much still waiting for you. What are you waiting for?